Good morning, YouTubers. T-Square with T-Square Talk. Have I got a great video for you? It is all over in just 8 days. The US dollar is done. Everything's collapsed. 8 days away. That's all you have to do to prepare. Just kidding. There is a lot going on in the next 8 days, but I get such a kick out of the doom and gloom. And as I was making this video, another thing popped into my head that I had seen, and the end of the US dollar in just 9 days. You have 9 days to prepare, 8 days. I'm like, come on, people. So what will happen, though, is I believe the dollar will probably take a hit. Not the end of the world, just a little bit of a weakening. And it will be a slow and steady decline. And gold and silver is just going to get more expensive. We're going to talk a little bit about that today. I hope you guys enjoy the video. I'm only teasing when I tell you it's all over for the US dollar in just 8 or 9 days. It's going to be a slow road, but I want to talk a little bit about that and the fear tactics, the propaganda, that type of stuff, everything going on out there. And I think it's important that we do talk about it because it is very important. I am joking a little bit, but it is very important that you understand what is happening little by little. And it's a slow road at first and then all at once. And that's usually how every currency collapses. Rarely have we seen a currency that I can think of that collapsed overnight. Most currencies, they just slowly get watered down. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. If you guys enjoy today's video, please take a quick minute, help me out, hit that thumbs up button. I'm probably going to use a thumbnail that says you have only 8 days left and then it's the end, just as a joke. So with that being said, if you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think is going to happen in literally 8 days? Also, if you would like to become a member, we are running our membership event right now. It is only $1.99 to hit that join button below, and you have a shot at winning a cool prize. Every month we give out a cool prize, but this month is this one. This is the MS69 1987 San Francisco Silver Eagle. A quick little plug there because we are trying to grow our memberships. Once we fill the board, that's it. And it is almost filled up. So it's not going to be many more members until we can run that event. It's going to be a lot of fun. You don't have to be present. You just have to check out and see if you were the winner. If I have your email on file, I will shoot you an email. I will do a short video too, so you don't miss out. But it's going to be pretty awesome. So be sure, and if you want to become a member, you want to hurry up and get in before we start that event. Once we have 100 members, that's it. We're almost there. It will be it. The door will be closed, and we will run that event, and then we'll see what happens for next month. So with that being said, let's get started and talk about today's video. So yeah, the BRICS meeting, the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, a lot can happen. A lot could happen. We don't know what big announcements they're going to make. Last year, they added 7 new countries. That was their big announcement last year. 7 new countries joined them. And ironically, all 7 of them were OPEC countries. They were big oil-producing countries. A lot of people speculate that they're slowly building up to a new, essentially oil-backed dollar. Because when you look at the countries, and I say oil-backed dollar, an oil-backed currency, because it won't be the US dollar, it'll be a BRICS currency, and there's talk that they're going to do a gold-backed BRICS currency, a 40% gold-backed BRICS currency. But here's the thing. These countries, financially they understand that they need to trade amongst each other. But do they really get along? Do they really trust each other? Are they like good buddies? Some of them are. I'll be honest, China and Russia, they have a tradition now where on each other's birthday, they visit the other person. And that's something, that has been going on a little while now. And I think stuff like that could continue. And that's strengthening friendships, it's strengthening ties amongst these other countries. Where does the U.S. stand on a lot of this? Well, obviously the U.S. is the top dog. U.S. top dog militarily. However, we are horrible when it comes to financial budgeting. We couldn't budget nothing. Our deficit is the highest it's ever been. It's growing at a faster and faster rate every day, and there's no signs to an end of it. And we've been essentially using the dollar to bully a lot of other countries into doing what we say. We've been trying to promote our way of thinking and our way of doing stuff amongst the whole globe. And people are kind of getting tired of that, unfortunately. They're getting tired of hearing how we do things. I mean, some people have made jokes about us now and some of the stuff that Americans do. I won't get into that because obviously some of that is frowned upon talking about. However, I think it's important that you see what is happening when it comes to the U.S. dollar. U.S. dollar is unfortunately losing value day by day. It is losing value. You can see that because we are seeing inflation. Inflation is still growing. Despite not really hearing much about it, it's still growing. And here's the thing. Right now is a time that it shouldn't really be growing. Why? Because they're doing everything they can in their power to make it not look as bad as it is. Here's the thing. After the election, less than a month away, you can expect that things could start falling apart quick. And depending on how the outcome plays, you could see stuff start breaking down even faster. What do we have in the short run? We got the BRICS meeting. That is going to be a major factor. We could see a good drop in the U.S. dollar. What is a good drop? Anything under 100 would be a nice little drop. What are we at right now? Roughly 102, 102.5, I think, when I looked at it last. You can check that out by typing in DXY index. But we did a video on that the other day and kind of explained why the dollar looks like it's not falling as fast as it is. We're measuring it against countries that are our friends, our allies. Once you realize that, the dollar is falling at a faster rate that's not really being seen. If all of a sudden a lot of countries band together and really try to take a notch down, we could see a big hit in the dollar. And how bad could that be? It could be really bad. It really could. Do I think it's going to happen overnight? No one knows the future. Doesn't matter if you're a YouTuber with 10,000 subs like me or if you're a YouTuber with 1 million subs. Nobody knows the future. All we can do is take educational guesses at what's going to happen. We can tell that the dollar is losing value, and it's probably going to continue to lose value. We can tell that gold and silver is going up, and it's probably going to continue going up. But at what pace? How fast will it happen? You have to understand the powers that be that basically run the U.S. dollar don't want to see the U.S. dollar lose essentially its top-notch status. It's world reserve currency. As it does continue to decline, more people are not going to want it. And as more and more people don't want it, it makes it worth less and less, both in the country and abroad. So you need to be mindful of what's happening. And you don't want to really play into the fear tactics that are out there that people are using to promote you buying maybe a higher priced item. Recently, I had some comments from an individual about, Silver Eagles. And this is not the first time over the years that I've seen this, where people say, oh, you know what, I would pay any amount. It's clearly worth more than what it is. I'd pay up to $50 an ounce for it. The problem with that is you need to be mindful. I would probably pay, I think it's a valid statement, I would probably pay up to $50 an ounce. But I wouldn't pay that today. People are starting to be hurting for cash. The economy is not doing good. I had someone approach me today. He is in my trade group and say he wants to sell a kilo of silver. A kilo. And he asked me, first he asked me what he could get one for. And I said, most people, if they're going to sell you one, are probably going to ask about $1,100, give or take 25 bucks. And he said, if I want to sell one, what's the best I could get for it right now? And I said, you could easily get 1,000. You could struggle a little bit to get 1,050. And if you look around, you take a little time, you might get the full 1,100. Kilo bars are a little tougher. They're a little tougher to sell because it's such a big item. Obviously, not everybody has the money to buy a kilo bar. And then on top of that, some people, I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of them. Why? Because it's too much in one item. I'd rather have smaller stuff. I said I would get back to him in a couple days and see what happens, but obviously nothing is set in firm. I've talked to a couple people, and ironically, a lot of people that I know are slowing down on buying. Why are they slowing down on buying? A lot of people have this belief that silver is about ready to take a big hit. I don't think I share that. I won't say I don't think. I don't share that same belief. I think there's more stuff in the near future that's going to push it up. Am I still buying? Should I run right out and buy that? I'm looking for deals. Obviously, if I can get a kilo at spot, that's a good deal. But I am tightening up on what I spent. You guys know, like I've said before, I charge a lot of stuff when it comes to precious metals, and I just make it a point to pay it when the time comes due. As the price climbs, I look for windows to slow down on buying. I look for opportunity to slow down on buying, and if the price pulls back, then I jump back all in. Now, obviously, I'm not going to turn down a spot price deal. Silver at spot is the ultimate deal. Silver, technically, I think it came out to $4 over spot on that kilo. And, he might even get rid of 2 of them. So, I've talked to a couple other people in my trade group because I probably can't afford right now 2 kilos of silver. However, opportunity is there. I did tell him, if I can help you pass off 2, can you make one of them in singles, 32 ounces as opposed to a kilo? And he said possibly, because he's got some 5-ounce bars and a 10-ounce, but he's got 110, a couple of 5s and some 1s. And then on top of that, get it up to 32, and then possibly even take a kilo. Now, like I say, I've answered questions in the past about best silver to buy and whatnot. The best silver to buy is anything you can buy at spot. You have an opportunity to get something at spot. You don't want to turn it down too often. It's not financial advice, just my opinion. And the reason I say that is it's pretty easy to get spot for silver, in my personal opinion. Am I going to tell you everywhere? No. You got to find the right people. But I would be safe to say that within an hour from anybody watching this video, within an hour drive, there's someone willing to pay you spot price for your silver. Question is, can you find that person? If you don't actively talk to people because you don't want anybody out there knowing that you stack silver, then it gets a little harder. If you don't know how to make a second Facebook account and go on Facebook and try to post something for sale and then meet up with them because you don't feel comfortable, then it gets harder. I've had probably 20 Facebook accounts, and I've used them for different reasons. I used to play video games on Facebook, and I had a bunch of different accounts. Why? So I could basically beat the system and work my way up in the game into the top players in the world by setting up automation where it automatically gives you gifts back and forth amongst each other. But needless to say, it's super easy to set that up, another account, once you look into it. And a lot of people don't understand that if they're not actively talking to people, they're closing some opportunities. Now, does that mean go out and publicize to everybody locally that you stack silver? No, that doesn't mean that. But you should be looking for opportunities to buy off of these people, because here's the thing, stackers need money too. In fact, unfortunately, a lot of stackers will get in hardcore and they'll buy a bunch more than they can afford, and then they'll have to sell some. And if they do and they don't have a good enough trade group already built up in place, it's very difficult. I've had a lot of people reach out to me and say, hey, I'd like to join your group. Here's the thing about that. You have to build your own group. You have to set that up, because I mean, I can't give a list of everybody's names that stacks that I know. I mean, obviously people like privacy when they stack. And I mean, there's multiple people, even some of you I have linked up with in different cities, different states, and helped you guys out by buying larger collections and helping you purchase larger collections. Obviously, it has to be somewhere where I can get to. I don't go up to Alaska or Washington, way up there, but I have driven all the way up to Maine, Las Vegas, Florida. And haven't done California since I've been stacking. It's one of my places I do want to go, but for different reasons too. So, why am I talking about this though? Because the window for collecting, for stacking, is coming to an end. It really is, at least at these prices. We've said this time and time again. Someone out there is going to say silver's going to go down, silver's this, silver's that. There's always naysayers out there. But truth of the matter is, when I started stacking, I could get 7 ounces of silver for $100. Then 6, then 5, then 4. Now 3 is tough, but not impossible. And soon it will be impossible for 3 and lucky to get 2. So that window is closing faster and faster. And obviously, when it first breaks through that window, it takes a little time to get through the next one. What do I mean by that? 7 months ago, you could get 4 ounces of silver for $100. 7 months. Now it's 3. Within the next 7 months, I expect you will be lucky to get 2. But some people will disagree with that. They'll say, no, well, 2 would be $50 an ounce. Silver ain't going to go $50 an ounce within the next year. We'll see. That's all I can say is we'll see. I mean, we just came off of a really nice 30% jump. It is building a solid base right now. It's consolidating. And I think it will take a little time to consolidate at the over 30 number. And once it is consolidated enough, move my other phone a little further away. Once it is consolidated enough, it's just going to have another big pop. And a lot of people, more people are going to see that pop, and then they're going to want to get in, and they're going to be like, man, I'm just getting in, and it's $45 an ounce. I wish I had known about it sooner. And some people will even be like, I was a naysayer. I mean, me personally, I was a naysayer. I was a naysayer when silver was $5 an ounce and gold was $400. I teased a buddy of mine about it. I heard about it in the Middle East, and I teased him. I said, you're taking half your paycheck every payday, the 1st and the 15th, and you're buying gold and silver, and then you're just sending it home to your parents in the States? And he did it every single 2 weeks. And it was funny then. It's not so funny now, because here I am buying, instead of buying at $5 an ounce, I'm buying at $30-something an ounce. And there's going to be people later that are going to be buying at $40 and $50 an ounce. And some people will come out and try to tell you no one's going to buy it at $50. You know what? If you had asked me when it was $5, I would have said no one's going to buy it at $20. Here I am buying it. No one's going to buy it at $30. Here I am buying it. And each time that we've seen those big jumps after I started stacking, for me, a stacker that had already been stacking, I said, darn, these prices had a big jump. I'm not paying it. Over $30, I'm not paying it. But here I am paying it. It just takes a little while. It takes a little while to get acclimated to the true price. And here's the thing. You still have a huge opportunity to stack silver. And hopefully you're taking advantage of it. Hopefully you're not just saying, I think silver is worth $50 an ounce easy, I'm going to pay it. Because someone out there is making money off of you if you're doing that. If you're saying that, there are people that are more than happy to sell you their ounces at 50, and then they're going to take the time and they're going to look around for somebody else willing to sell it at 33, 34, 32, whatever the case may be. Obviously, 32 is a little harder to find. I get asked all the time, what should I be paying for silver? What's a good price? I usually like stuff around $2.50 over spot. Anything under that is just better, obviously. Anything closer to spot is better. Anything under spot is the best. It's rare you're going to find anything under spot. So you might as well just, I won't say get that out of your head, but be mindful that it is tough. I had a lot of people comment, what about jewelry stores? Jewelry stores can be a great opportunity. I used to laugh when I heard that. I checked a couple. I didn't have any luck. And until I found a good jewelry store that actually got coins in, they bought gold, they bought silver, people brought them in coins, they needed money. The jeweler store said, we'll give you 10% under spot, and then they sold them pretty much at spot. And so that opportunity is out there. But it depends where you're at. Deals come and go. You just have to try to do your best to find them. And when you find them, you have to have the ability to have the money to get them. I'll be honest, I have overspent recently on gold and silver, and therefore this opportunity that just popped up for 2 kilos at spot, pretty much, I don't have the money to take them both, and he needs the money. So if I don't get them, somebody else will. So I'd rather just help link him up with someone that can afford it, and I'm going to tell him, I'll tell you what, you're going to buy me lunch, and I will help you find someone. And then I'm going to go to someone else, and I'm going to say, you're going to buy me a dinner, and I'm going to set you up with someone that's going to sell you a kilo at spot of silver. And I'll end up getting a couple of free meals out of the deal. I'll end up being able to get my other kilo, which I will take at the $1,000. And hopefully one of them is in a broken up form and one of them is in the full bar form. And if that's the case, then I'm going to take the broken up one, because I believe it is easier to sell smaller stuff if I ever need to. Now, do I care? I'll take whichever, but I'm going to prefer the better one. Just like if I'm selling you, hypothetically, a couple ounces of silver and you're only going to keep one and you're going to give one away. Well, if one of them is an American Silver Eagle and the other one's a generic Santa Claus round, you're probably going to keep the Silver Eagle. Why? Because it's the better of the two. Well, you get into kilo bars, the bigger the bar, the harder it is to sell if you ever needed to. Less people can afford a kilo of silver. There's people that are stacking in this community watching this video right now that may not even have a kilo's worth of silver. To those of you that have been stacking for a while at cheap prices, you might think that's funny or not true, but there are people. I get emails all the time from people that are brand new to stacking. They're looking for opportunity, and they only got 10, 20 ounces under their belt, and they're excited about that, and they should be. Because the truth of the matter is, the average person in the world doesn't have any silver. And if all the silver in the world was split up equally, 6 ounces of silver is at best what you'd have. And once you realize that, then you understand that 20 ounces puts you in a really good spot, And so any amount of silver that you have is good. Obviously, the more you can get, the better you'll be. For a longer period of time. If you're sitting on 20 ounces of silver, it's going to be nice when it jumps up to $100, $200, $300, but is it going to be a major life changer? If you're sitting on 1,000 ounces of silver, that could be a life changer, especially if it's an SHTF scenario. 20 ounces will make a difference between you surviving or not. 1,000 ounces could make the difference of you coming out of an SHTF scenario in the driver's seat with a new business, with fully set up and in a really good position. You have to understand that gold is the money of kings and silver is the money of gentlemen. And the gentlemen were the ones that, they had a certain amount of money. And then everything else is essentially servants, peasants, that type of stuff, you know. So you have to, indentured servitude, you have to understand that, you know, any amount of silver you can get under your belt is going to put you in a good spot. So with that being said, going to wrap up here, 24 minutes. I thank everybody for watching. If you would, please take a quick minute, hit that thumbs up button, especially if you enjoyed the video. If you didn't and you want to hit it anyway, I appreciate it, especially if you made it this far. Leave me a comment, let me know your thoughts, and if you're not a member and you'd like to become a member, like I said, it's only $1.99. Great events that we do every month with really cool prizes, and every month you're going to see a cooler and cooler prize, it seems like. And as that happens, a lot of people wait and they wait and they wait, and then they become a member at the last minute, and they've missed the, I'll say, the better odds. I remember when there was only 5 members, and the odds were awesome. Took home an ounce of silver for $1.99, and there was only 5 people. I mean, that's pretty sweet odds. So with that being said, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys again tomorrow on T-Square Talk. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.